Good day, friends. Milo here. I will be carrying on with the adventures in the Legacy of Morgoth. Um, we are presently in the town of Turkur. We've got a couple of things to take care of here before we're going to be carrying on with the epic quest line. I hope that y'all are having a wonderful week. It is Thursday, and I am looking forward to getting some game time in tonight. All right.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
We are preparing to return to Namuru. We asked you attend our discussion with him again. Your assistance and support are invaluable to us. Please speak with Rafuz and inform him I am ready.
Fair winds to you.
I'm eager to present Namuru with proof of our success. I would like you to be present. I believe this will ensure we are made members of Mizadi's forces and will realize our purpose in Imhular. We have you to thank for our relationship and our success. It is only right we share.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
Rafus and Ashami did as I requested. They faced their fears and earned the right to prove their courage against the Urdakai of Imhular. Nimura pauses and looks at your friends. They were perplexed when I told them there was another challenge before them. Mazadi's guards are not tempered by only fighting beasts. They must hone their skills against the true enemy. Speak with them. I believe they are worthy, but I require further proof.
It is a new day.
Namura wants more proof of our devotion to the cause. She shakes her head. I do not like the words he chooses. We fight because it is noble. We fight because the cause is just. We fight because the plight of the people of Shagana is extreme. We fight for our freedom and a future for the children of Shagana. We fight for an ideal, not a savior. As Shami grudgingly prepared to face the new challenge, I will turn to our hovel to prepare. Seek me there. I spoke with Rafus. He is enamored by Mazadi's words, but he is not given to the superstitions of the Shagani. I think it is his pragmatic view on Shagana that endears me to him. We have discussed and will go to the encampment and prove our value to Numuru and Mazadi's cause together. Come, Leafy. Come, Joy. Come, Lay. Come. Good Joy. Good girl. I spoke with Rafus. He is enamored by Mazadi's words, but he is not given to the superstitions of the Shagani. I think it is his pragmatic view on Shagana that endears me to him. We have discussed and will go to the encampment and prove our value to Numuru and Mazadi's cause together. We will do what must be done. Let us fight through the enemy and give the main force the distraction they need to retake parts of the ruin. A voice booms. What is this clamor? The enemy is here. What is this madness he screams about? What did he mean? The firstborn return from their long slumber. What evil grows beyond Imholar? Let us return to Nemuru with haste.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
We presented Nemuru with the words the cultist spoke. He is unconvinced that it is anything more than a hollow threat. Please speak to him. Convince him this is more than superstition.
Fair winds to you!
Nemuru is pleased with our performance, but the information we provided concerns him greatly. We need you to speak to him as well. Very well, I'll go speak with Nemuru.
What say you, traveler?
Numuru listens to your report. I've heard the expedition out of Umbar seeks to squash a threat from among their leaders. It could be this threat the cultist speaks of, no? I cannot take this report to Mazadi without more proof. Ashami and Rafus proved their worth in their trials. They are welcome in our legion. I cannot chase after the words of an Ordokai cultist without more proof. Talk to Rafus.
Is there something you need?
Rafus and Ashami nod in unison. Ashami speaks. We agree. We want to collect proof to deliver to Numuru. If the cultist threat is real, there will be signs near their encampment. Rafus and I will head to the Ordokai camp in the south. Will you go to the cultist camp east near the bridge of Princess, called Nambardir, in the Shangani tongue? Look for signs of a threat and return here with your evidence. We will confer and present what we find to Numuru. Well, seeing that I got a quest to go do outside, may as well pick up some more.
You've been gathering supplies to catch stray dogs? There are no dogs here in Ormach. No dogs at all.
Who did you say you gathered these items for? Barul? I've never heard of a Barul. He isn't a resident here. I've lived in Urmok all my life. You can try asking around and talking with other Urmok residents, but we don't have a dog catcher here in Urmok. All the dogs disappeared. We don't need one. That's fishy.
Dogs? No, no dogs here. We used to have dogs, and then they all just vanished.
I haven't heard a dog barking in weeks. It's strange, now that you mention it. We used to have lots of dogs in Urmok. Okay, several quests here.
I am Nomuro. Pleased to meet you, outsider.
I am Numuru. I am the sworn protector of and hand of the queen leader of the deadly Subuzuri, and if you ply me with enough wine, singer of songs of Mazadi's deeds and battles from Urmok to the Kud. But that can wait for happier times, friend. I have an urgent matter with which I'd ask your help. Scouts of the All-Seeing have been pressing closer and closer to Urmok. We captured 5 this week alone. Regrettably, we missed a raiding party this morning. They made off with several innocent residents of Urmok, no doubt to torture them for information on our plans and defenses. You have proven quite resourceful in accomplishing much for Hamat and Muzadi. She has placed her trust in you multiple times, and you haven't let her down. I've been watching you quite closely, friend. This is a mission of great import. I believe you are skilled enough to accomplish what few others could. Please go to Kur Anzar, find where they have taken those Urmaki citizens, free them, and defeat any Barkushim that get in your way. You are the best hope those people have to return safely to Urmok, so please go quickly.
As we move throughout Korenzar, grab any supplies or packs you see.
Many valuables and packs have been stolen from residents of Urmok, both in the initial fight for Kur Anzar, that saw us expelled, and in time since in Urmok. Grab any supplies or packs you see. They'll be harming their war efforts and aiding the everyday people of renewed Hamat.
I see that you can get things done. That bodes well for us.
As I have great need of one such as you, your talent for stealth seems matched only by resolve. This next mission will require the same care and patience you undertook in rescuing Resolve. We know the All-Seeing are constructing great siege engines. We believe it is with intention to destroy Urmok. We have intercepted several of their spies around the perimeter of Urmok, scouting our defenses. I need you to go back to Kuranzar and destroy these weapons whilst they are still being built. There is often black powder stored around these great weapons. Set it ablaze and then quickly make your escape. The resulting conflagration should do the rest.
We are close to retaking Kuranzar and drive the loathsome Barhushim out. Soon, we will reunite all of Hamat under our banner of hope.
Kuranzar is the key. We need to seize a foothold in Kuranzar, from which we may strike at the heart of Okiso and his twisted realm. You are to be the point of our spear, Miloa. It is time to make our move. We ask that you move through the lower portion of the city and drive their forces back in the lower ward. We know Okisu's loathsome aide, Rokobu, to be leading them. If you get the chance, plunge your sword into his chest for me. Now is the time that Hamat rises again.
In my latest scouting excursion, I saw something troubling, friend. The Barkushim have allied themselves with a group of orcs.
They make their camp near the top of Kuranzar. I know not what foul cause would lead to such an allegiance, but we need to eliminate this threat as we move through Kuranzar. You have already done much for renewed Hamat, but I would ask this of you. Please defeat the orcs in Kuranzar, so that we may move our citizens back there once this battle is over. Oh, and be careful. I saw a particularly large orc ordering to the others around. I heard one of the others call him Shalbluk. If you can, he should be your main target.
I have a small favor to ask. If it is not too much trouble, that is.
You see the young man make a great effort to collect himself. Sorry, I'd rather spend my time in books than in war, so I feel very out of sorts. But here we are. I have a favor to ask of you. Let's just get right to it. The Burkishim are horrible for my variety of reasons, but first among them, in my estimation, is their hatred for history. They regularly destroy and burn historical documents, books, and scrolls for fear of knowledge that does not conform with their faith. I'm afraid that with our assault on Kur Anzar, any historical scrolls or works they haven't burned, they will quickly set to the fire, in a senseless desire to prevent us from recapturing them. If you see any unburned scrolls as you move through Kuranzar, please collect them. There are incalculably valuable historical anecdotes and treasures here. It would be a tragedy of epic proportion if they were all lost. Please save them. Okay. Let's just ride through town. See if there's anything more to pick up.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
No dogs. My dog Hunter went outside to relieve himself 3 weeks ago. That was the last I saw of him. I miss him every day. He always relieve himself by Nukush's forge. Might check there. Don't tell Nukush that though, please.
What say you, traveler?
I don't miss the dogs, but I know many others do. All that howling and yelling at all hours. But yes, that all stopped several weeks ago. It's been eerily quiet at night. I know the dogs used to gather in the northeast and southeast corners of Urmok. There might be something there. I always stayed away from the dogs. Okay. Got it. There are no signs of dogs recently being here. Let's go check the northeast corner. You see baskets, jugs, and casks, but no signs of dogs. Okay. Blacksmith's forge. There is nothing here but Nukush and his forge.
It is as I feared. I believe this dog catcher may have designs of the fate of dogs, and possibly worse.
You should speak with Nariga. Her husband is missing. He did not come home. I hope he is merely drunk and will soon stagger home after sleeping it off. But I fear this dog catcher may wish ill of more than dogs. You should speak with her to learn more. She is across the way, over by Nukush, the blacksmith.
Have you seen my husband, Nama? He never came home last night.
I'm worried about him. The jackals are getting hungrier and more ferocious with each passing day. I love my husband, but he is a fool with drink sloshing in his head. He doesn't know his top from his bottom with a bit of ale in him. Would you help me find him?
Whenever he drinks, he doesn't go anywhere without his co-conspirators. A terrible influence they are.
Best to start with them. Sudak and Germunu are their names.
He wasn't out with us last night. We could have used him. Had to finish off twice the ale with him gone.
I didn't see him. Maybe Gamuna knows more.
Well, he wasn't with me, if that's what you're implying. I know that's what Neriga is implying.
She's never been fond of our friendship, but no, he wasn't in my company either. Gamuna pauses. She looks like she is collecting her thoughts. Decision made, she turns to you. Look, sometimes Namak needs time by himself. He has told me and Sudak as much. He goes out to Shakdag and just thinks. Nurika would never understand, but if Nurika truly is worried about him, Shagdag to the east is where I'd look for him. Shagdag is overrun with wild boar. Why would he take such a risk? Why not simply tell me he needed time alone? This is terrible. He could have been gored. You must go to Shagdag at once. You must find my husband.
I know not why Namach embarked to Shahdag. I wish he had merely told me he needed time alone, and had not put his life so foolishly in danger. We must search for signs of Namach, or clues of his presence among the savage boar.
You see it bound.
You found me out. Dogs aren't so fun to catch anyway. Men put up so much more of a fight.
They make better hunts, don't you think? And the sounds they make. How exquisite. A pity the supplies you got from me were such poor quality. They were of no use to me at all. But you are intriguing, and that's rude, intruding. I'll be seeing you, Miloa. Wait, I'm not gonna fight him? I gotta return to her. Return to Nuraga.
He's taken him! Barul's taken my husband! We must find Namach!
We must find him immediately.
We must do everything we can to find Namach!
I know he would have left me clues. I believe he and Barul may still be in Urmak. We need to search Urmak for anything that could have been on my husband. Anything he left behind for us. Search Urmak for Namak's personal effects. Okay. Torn piece of Namak's robe. Discarded piece of rope. Namak's journal.
Where did you say they were? That house, all the items were around, is abandoned. Or at least it was.
Quickly, we must go there. I believe Namak was there, and I'm coming with you. I will do anything I can to help my husband.
Quickly! My husband may be wounded or bound as we speak.
You have traced Namak and Barul to this abandoned house in Ormak. Inside, the smell is musty, infused with the scent of blood. As you enter, you see the mark, bound in the corner, with Sparul standing over him.
I can no longer play at pretense.
Do not harm my husband, please. We have little money, but what we have is yours if you free him.
You do not appeal to me directly, and perhaps you should have.
Please, you have such a beautiful face. Do not harm my husband.
This isn't my face. I just wear it sometimes. Stop with your pathetic attacks. Do you not know who I am? I am the Hungry Storm, and I take what I please. His life means nothing to me, a day's distraction, and I take it anyway. As for you, I will see you again, and soon.
Mark is dead, his body broken as though tossed by a storm.
He's gone. I can't believe he's gone. And that thing, I don't know what it was. It called itself the Hungry Storm.
I thought it was just a legend. It was so awful. So awful. I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe he's gone. That's just plain sad. Okay. Next set of quests are all at Anzar. Let's ride. Thought there was one hiding here behind the bushes. Nothing back here. Let's head on up this area here. So far, I'm doing okay. These guys, most of them looks like they've got corruptions on them. We have to be careful to remove them. See what this is. Blessing of the All-Seeing Eye, corruption plus 10% to all damage. Ooh, some orcs. First orcs in this area. Ah, here's the boss guy. Hey, cleared out the orcs. We gotta find Rakubu. Lots of artifact notes in this zone. Definitely nice if you're a scholar. Looks like there's an inside to this place as well, but we can't get in through those doors. Here's the supplies that we're talking about. looks like a dead end. This is the way we came in. Looks like all I need now are the supplies. Supplies and stockades. And that zone over there. Back this way. Okay, I have all I need. Now let's see if I can ride my way out of here. Nope, nope, nope. I'm not going the right way if I go that way. There we go. We have the lookout quests. Could do those. Gathering reports. See no evidence of impending invasion from the south. See no evidence of impending invasion from the west. East one's gonna be closer. So sad that I can barely do any damage on horseback. Let's see if I can get through here. Bad guys again. Sorry, coming through. Don't worry. Not gonna stay around for long. Almost there. In the distance you see an encampment of orcs, and among them is a massive aberration. Oh, that doesn't bode well. Let's hightail it back to town. Now we just need to turn all this in.
You defeated them! Excellent! We will sing of your exploits yet, my friend! You found them all! Ha ha! That is welcome news indeed! Oh, be careful! I shall soon have to make a song for your deeds! This is a wonder! Well done! Every peck nut in their possession is food in the bellies and supplies on the shelves of people of renewed Hamah.
Ah, this is wonderful news. You have bought us a fortnight of time or more. And this is quite the day, my friend. Quite the triumph. And you killed Rokobu?
You found some! So many! Ah, this is excellent! There is so much we can learn from these.
Okay. Reputation changed. Ikorbani, I am now a friend. Oops. Let's check this out. Quest available. Friend of the Ikorbani. Your efforts to assist the ikorbani are noted among the people. To recognize your efforts, the leaders of the Shangani at Iridir wish to honor you with a gift of thanks. Stone mold. Looks good. Find Kilduk at Iridir. I haven't been to Iridir in a while.
It is not just the orc encampment nearby that concerns us. Nambadir, the span of princes, has been seen occupied by orcish forces.
Make your way to the bridge and let us know what you find. I fear this is only the tip of the spear, and we may soon have two sets of villains and dangers.
What say you, traveler?
It is not only the Burkushim we must contend with. It seems Ashara can never rest, Miloa. We have been hearing rumors, reports of odd things near the span of Denegir to the east. My scouts recount stories of orcs and something larger, even more sinister. We know not how strong they are or where they come from, but these rumors are quite concerning. Go to the span of Denegir. My spies tell me a band of orcs has camped near there. Scout the camp and count their number. If you have the opportunity, destroy their racked weapons so they cannot threaten renewed Hamat. We have enough to deal with in the Burkashim in anzar. I will not have another group of villains move towards us. Gather what information you can and then report back to me. Do not take unnecessary risks. I fear for your safety if my scouts' reports are true. I'm going to go visit the task board real quick. Oh, I see there's bounty boards there as well that I haven't done. are done. I am gonna set this as my milestone, I think, for now. Let's go talk to Rafuz and Ashami.
Fair winds to you.
You shared your discovery of the orc encampment to the north of the camp of cultists. Both Ashami and Rafu seem unsurprised. We found a letter in a language I do not understand. I believe I deciphered one word, orcs. We should take this information to Nurmuru.
Is there something you need?
Nurmuru looks at the letter and listens to your report on the cultist camp far to the east. None here can read this. Rafuz is a scholarly man, and he cannot read this. Orcs are a menace. Most fled when the temple keepers vanished. If there is an encampment of orcs near the bridge, they are just another enemy to face. As for your large orc, you said it was a good distance away. You could be mistaken. Maybe it was a troll or some upright beast. We have an enemy we know now. We must focus on Anzar and not bother ourselves with what may be a threat from the Deadlands in the north. The offer to join our number remains extended to your friends. I offer you the same. Your tenacity would be welcome.
This valley belongs to the Shagani and no one else.
You approach Ashami and Rafuz. They have been talking quietly. We cannot join them. We believe the threat from the east is real. Rafuz and I have been talking, and we have a course.
What say you, traveler?
Miloa, we intend to speak with Lothagwid. The elves of the shonith oasis have lived in these lands so long they have forgotten more than they remember. Perhaps they can explain what the cultist meant by the words lost to time. Perhaps they cannot. If they can help us, they will. Meet us there, and we will gain Lothagwid's guidance. So Shonith is back this way. We've got 2 quests to turn in at Shonith and 1 at Iridir. So this is what I'm gonna do. I have some maps here. Where do my map guides go? Iridir, Gibberish, Urmok, that's where we are right now. And that's the place we haven't been. Okay, let's pop over to Iridir. Go turn that 1 in. The friend of the ikorbani.
Travel with care, friend. Dangers are all about.
Okay, now let's pop over to Gibberish. And go to Shonith. Quickest way is to first go over to Galburu.
Today is a good day.
Alright, let's go to Shonith. Okay, we are back in Shonith now.
I cannot muster the strength.
Lethaquid holds her gaze. Ashamil and Rafuz shared their information with me. The language of the letter I would not read here. The repercussions to the oasis could be grave. They told me you saw something at a great distance. You described what you saw. I cannot recall anything like this in my life. Our tales do not recount such things. Alas, Maloa, much of our history dissipated as the oasis died and the land corrupted. I told Ashami and Rafuz about the dead lands to the north. I remember one name, Marush. It is a place where you may find refuge, a place you may find horror, a place where you may find answers. This is all I know. Speak with Ashami.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
Lathagwid will not leave. She cannot recall seeing an enemy as you described in her lifetime. She told me she cannot help. She told me this path be mine to walk or leave. I told Rafuz I needed time to think. My bones still shake when I think of the words the cultist spoke as we defeated him. I felt the evil passing over me. There is some great evil beyond the Urdakai. I want to face that evil and drive it away. I want to live for myself and the greater good of the world. I only hope that Rafuz will feel the same. Shami has chosen a path to pursue. Seek out Rafuz to learn his path.
Good day to you, traveler.
Rafuz looks tired. Hello, my friend. Ashami asked for time to think. My decision was an easy one. I've learned my father's homeland has people who are fierce, independent, and beautiful. I've learned the people of the north need not be our enemy. When the cultist spoke, I felt the shadow of true evil. Something shook me deeply. These things changed me. I cannot cast my eyes toward a goal that does not safeguard all. There is some great work at hand. I will go to Marush and seek to discern the evil we face. I hope Ashami and I can do this together.
Travel with care, friend. Dangers are all about.
Rafuz and I will make our way back to Kur Anzar. We will discuss along the way. Find us there, Maloa. We'll be pleased to treat with you. Okay, before I can do that, let's now go back to Urmuk. Oh no, wait. I gotta go do acquaintance of the adurhid. I'm gonna go turn that one in.
How can I help? What do you need?
Let's travel to Urmuk. I'm not quite ready to go to the next zone yet, but let's go scout that. Scouting the incursion, our fate. We could talk to Shami. There is no sign of your friends, but there is a note with your name for our friend. The Shami and I hope you find this letter and you are well. We spoke on our return to Kuranzar from Shonith about Kismet. The Shagani used the word to describe their fate. I like it. We decided on our own, and then together. We are bound to fight for something beyond the freedom of Shagana. We came to this decision because of you. You aided me without expectation of compensation. You allowed me to pursue a Shami and shared wholesome advice along the journey. You listened to me. You listened and shared. You helped a Shami in the same manner selflessly. We both realize, though our cultures are strange to one another, we are more alike than we are different. We each appreciate each other, our pasts, and more importantly, our future. We have pledged to be together, whatever fate plans. We found our future and our love because fate placed you in our path. Kismet, you are eternally our friend, Rafuz and Ashami. Okay. Hopefully our paths will cross again. Talk to Rafuz in Urushtar. All the way over here. In that city. Okay, so I am gonna put this one just on the back burner because I'm trying to finish up this zone first. So next, we got that stuff to go do up there. Got a scout scuff at the orc camp, destroy orcish weapon racks, and then go to expand and search the sides of orcs. Orcses. See many orcs milling around the camp. Here's the weapons rack. There are many orcs over here, and something large near the back. Scout the back of the camp. You hear an enormous roar as a shiver goes up your spine. A devastator. It's a new type of enemy. Oh, we gotta go to the span. You see nothing but the impressive bridge before you. You have discovered Numbadir, the span of the princess. Go a third of the way onto Numbadir and scout south. What remains of the river moves lazily below you. You see orcs and orcish weapons strewn about. You hear war drums in the distance and smell burning flesh. Return to Namuru.
I had feared as much. The orcs are moving from Orishtar into Imhular.
We must bolster our defenses to the east before we are overrun.
How big was it? That is quite worrying. I fear that this incursion is only the tip of a great spear about to plunge into renewed Hamat.
Okay, I think we've wrapped all those up. Now it's time to go do chapter 12.3.
Today is a good day! Alright, let's go find Sigilith.
These whites were disturbed by something nearby, and I fear the hand of the Church of the All-Seeing in this.
Go to the northeast and look toward the city of Kuranzar. We must know what awaits us within. You arrive, location. Kuranzar is filled with soldiers and cultists. Your companions cannot have gone there.
Kuranzar is occupied by soldiers of Ordach and cultists of the Church of the All-Seeing?
Our companions cannot have gone there, Maloa.
Where might our companions have gone instead?
Silurtas, is there a settlement somewhere within Imhalar where folk of Gondor, Umbar, and Shagana might gather together without drawing notice? The group includes a dwarf, an elf, and a half-troll as well. Also, the half-troll's lion, should that affect your answer. If you did not know the elf warrior so well, you might think Sigilith was jesting. She catches your eye and holds it with her own while she waits for Solartis to answer.
Nowhere in any of these lands would hide such a gathering as that from outside attention, Sigilith,
cries Solartis. But if they came to Imhular and planned to stop at Anzar, they might have turned from that course and strayed for a time at Urmak. If we go to the northwest and search within the city of Urmak, we may find your friends. Back to Urmak we go. Here they are. We found them.
When my sister told me she wanted to meet with the elves of the oasis, I did not think she would bring one back with her.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Solartis, and I am eager to learn more about you and your people. If there is anything you would hear from me concerning the land of Lothlorien, or the other places I have seen on my travels, you have only to ask. Corridan turns to you, his welcoming expression replaced with one of great concern. I'm worried about this substance sought by Azagoth and Nakasi. If it is truly as destructive as it sounds, we must prevent them from finding it at any cost. The others of our group went in search of their trail while we spoke with the people here in Urmak. The occupation of Kuranzar has made locating our prey more difficult than it might have otherwise been.
I am pleased you and Sigilith have returned to us. We have had little in the way of success since you left us.
Zergon's demeanor is downcast, and you ask him what troubles him. He sighs and kicks a stone in the grass. I've been engaged in an argument with the warrior woman Rahazi, and it has enshrouded me in a storm cloud of ill feeling. She speaks of beloved kings of Gondor as if they were tyrants, and says King Elessar will be no different than they. The title, Hermandashsil, is a noble one in Gondor, and memory of the kings who wear it brings to mind many triumphs throughout history. But Rahazi treats these victories as if they were monstrous regents and bloodthirsty warmongers. How are the rulers of her land remembered in Gondor, I ask you? How much he defends such as they? King Elessar is a man of noble heart and bearing. How can I convince Rahazi of what I know to be the truth?
This man of Gondor thinks to lecture the daughter of Girhazi about the history of her own people?
Do you know the meaning of the title Hermandasil, worn by his beloved kings, Maloa? He told me the meaning of it is South Victor. The Shagani have given titles of our own to one of those kings. The ruler known in Gondor as Hermandasil the First is known in Umberul as Lugula, the despot of the north. The second Gondorian king to claim the title of Hermandasil has a different title among the people whose ancestors he slaughtered. He is called Ugdumu, the Butcher. Speak to the folk who dwell in this village, and you will see that your Gondorian friend knows not what he speaks.
Ugh, Shagana has always suffered at the hands of Gondor.
When the Black Numenorean Castamiri departed from that kingdom and established the union of the Khortan League, it was to Shagana that the Gondorian king Vinyarion pursued them, bringing war and death. He stopped not there, but continued deeper into lands that held no enemies for him. He burned the great city of Sharaban in a tremendous conflagration, and its charred bones still smolder today. This was the man who took the title of Hermodicils II. We name him Ugdumu, the Butcher. They say he had a change of heart in his elder years, and repented of the evil he wrought. I believe it not.
Stories of the Gondorian kings who named themselves here Mendikil are well known to my people.
For they are brutal tales of conquest and despair. They are also lessons to us. The first of these, Kirjahir Hermundikil, he we name Lugula, conquered the coasts and held them with the sword, that he might affirm his kingdom's control of the seas. The lands in the interior were made border marches of Gondor. He installed puppet kings in these cities of Shagana, and took their children to live in Gondor as hostages. Thus was their good behavior ensured, but he returned every 7 years to reaffirm the loyalties of the kings. When he finally died, the Ambaruli celebrated so enthusiastically that a unit of Gondorian soldiers was sent to restore order, and dozens perished. 100 years after his death, another sought to attain glory in our lands, but through great force of will and show of arms, the Shagani dealt with defeat after defeat. He retreated, and from the safety of his northern home, he felt he could not claim the title of Harmandakil. That spared him not from becoming known in Shagana as Lugulamin, the second despot.
You speak to my friends about kings of Gondor? You are bold to speak so, stranger.
Hermundakil means South Victor, and all who claimed this title wear evil reputations in Shagana. Others have sought to achieve that title through conquest and bloodshed and failed. A king named Minardil sought to become Hermundakil III, but he was slain by the heirs of Castamir before he could adopt it properly. The heirs sworn of today are no friends of mine, but this to seize the glory seeking of a third Hermundakil seems to me fine work indeed. That title remains unclaimed to this day, but who can say whether the new king of Gondor will think to increase his own glory and the size of his kingdom by adopting the title of Hermundakil III, though it lie long dormant. The histories of this land teach us unpleasant lessons, stranger. Perhaps you should heed them.
They are wrong. King Elisar is a good man, and he will live up to his promise, for both Gondor and for Shagana.
The kings of old that took the title of Hermundakil were neither as wise nor as just as King Elisar. He will not become as they were.
I want to prove that Gondor is not an enemy to the people here.
And that King Elisar is different than the rulers of the past whose names the Shagani curse. One of the residents here, Sharuk, spoke of a need for various animal parts that might be put to a number of different uses. Legs from toads, bristles from something called a zizanu, and the stingers from deadly scorpions. No enemy of these folk would gather such items as these for them, would they? I would really appreciate your gathering these items for Sharbuk Maloa, and so would the king. Let's go do some hunting. Toadlegs and Zizanus. Cormac?
This work of yours is a help to me, but
If your Gondorian friend believes you will forget centuries of ill use by his kingdom and his rulers, his head is full of rocks. Still, I appreciate it. These items contain traces of the disease that plagues these creatures and our land, but with careful handling they can still be of use to me.
Sir Gon is eager to prove the worth of his king and his kingdom? Then let his friends prove his trust is not misplaced.
There are cultists of Barkush throughout Imhular and the city of Anzar, Maloa. Deal them a grave injury, and perhaps the folk of the village will understand Sirgon's trust in his liege lord. You should then relate the good you have done to the woman Irnamar. I spoke with her earlier, and she bemoaned the evils done by the cultists in Anzar. You will not remove centuries of distrust from the hearts of these folk with one deed on their behalf, Maloa. At least you will make more safe the road we must take, if nothing else. Actually, we're gonna just take this table.
Hastal gur, stranger.
Now let's go talk to Irnamar.
You fought soldiers of Ordach and cultists of Barhush? You have done some good here today, stranger.
I'm not one to turn away help when it is offered. Neither am I one to withhold my gratitude when the good deed is done on my behalf. So you have the thanks of Irnamar for fighting against these foes of my people. That is all you will have. I hope you expected nothing more.
I'm glad we have done what we could on behalf of King Elisar and Gondor.
As little as it might have been. It is my hope that our words and deeds will be here remembered in the days ahead, and such will serve as the cause of peace between these lands. We may not yet be friends, but I would have us first not be enemies. I'm glad we did what we could for the folk of Urmok, but it is time for us to be on our way. Belendor has sent word to us that they have located the trail of Azagath.
They wait for us along the road into Urashdar.
Located to the northeast of Umhular, we should rejoin them before they capture Azagath and Nikasi without us. I will be taking a quick break. I will be right back. Let's go meet up with the company. Believe we are done here in Urmok. In Umhular. We're about to go to the next zone, probably.
It is good to see you again. I trust your journey with Sigalith the Elf went well.
Our own search has proved fruitful, for we encountered a Shogani scout who reported seeing Azagath travel alone into Urashtar, the furrow lands to the north. We questioned the scout at some length, and he was quite certain that Azagath traveled alone. Where Nakasi has gone, no one seems to know. What did you discover on your journey after you parted with us at Galburu, Maloa? Telling Ballandor everything? You tell Ballandor about your adventures, but make no mention of Balakat.
Some of the people we spoke to described a dreadful presence lurking in the canyons ahead.
They say whatever this evil might be, it has only come to haunt the Furrowlands in the past few months. I do not want to raise my hopes for those of Urshuk too high, Maloa, but I hope this evil presence is of the sort that wields weapons. There has been too much walking and not enough fighting on this journey for my taste, and that is true for Hershuk as well, who feels as I do.
Did you find your visit with the elves of the oasis a waste of time, as I said it would be?
Holtek laughed suddenly, interrupting your response. I am only jesting. I'm certain it was of great value. I understand you have brought one of them with you. How strange it must be for her to leave her grove. The world outside must be more dangerous than that to which she is accustomed.
No one seems to know where Nakasi is gone.
She may have quarreled with Azagath and taken her leave of him, or he may have sent her somewhere with orders to carry out. All we know for certain is that when Azagath passed into Urashtar, he did so alone. The scout with whom we spoke told us friendly folk once lived at a small village to the northwest, a short distance from here, but when last he passed that way the town was abandoned. Enough may remain of the town that it would serve as well as a foothold from which we might explore within Urashtar. Will you go ahead and light the fire at this abandoned campsite? When the entirety of our group has there assembled, it will become the foundation of our activities within Urashtar, and from there we can more effectively search for Azagath. Alright, let's go ahead and cross on over. Now there's the campsite he's referring to. And I do have a stable is this. Don't know. Let's see where this guide takes us. My guide to Marush. Okay, it takes us over here. Let's just grab the stable. That's the mission recruiter, the regular stable guy. There has to be a regular stable guy. No? Has to be this way. There's the stable master.
Nico, it is good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's see if I can find my way across the river. There's the big... I want to go that way. Looks like there's a path up ahead. Come on. All I want is to get up here. Yay, we did it. Not that I even know if it was necessary, but... Nope, it wasn't necessary. Oh, I made that jump. And I guess we're gonna go up this way. I wanna go up there. Hang on, there's something, buildings over there. Alright, we've discovered ills, whatever. You have discovered Ilzug. Cool. Now abandoned by its former occupants, this camp will suit your purpose.
Hastal Gur, stranger.
I'm gonna grab this milestone. And looks like we gotta build a camp here. Your companions arrive and try to make themselves at home. Talk to Solartis.
I have an uneasy feeling about this place.
No, the campsite is fine. There's something wrong about the air of this place. Something is not right. I feel as if some evil slumbered within the canyons of Urushtar, but it has awoken and there is something else. It is hungry.
I am sorry. The sensation is unpleasant, but there is something more. It is familiar somehow.
I cannot understand it. The Kintai never dwelled among these canyons, and to my knowledge neither did the Temamir. Men and Hull folk may have fled here from other kingdoms elsewhere in Jagana, but this has always been an overlooked place. If it was ever otherwise, it is beyond my memory and beyond that of my people. But something evil dwells within Urushtar now. That much is certain. I cannot determine where exactly it dwells unless we search among the canyons. The Ordokai built a stone keep, Marush, from which they might oversee the approach from Imhular. It should be located across the river to the west. If you scout the approach to Marush, you may learn the identity of the sleeping evil within Urushtar. Cross the river to the west and look in the direction of Marush. So obviously that's the town Marush over there. where we just came from. Okay, there is an actual road, it looks like. Crossing the river and riding to the point. Creep closer and listen for sounds from Marush. The sound of orcish voices, not the Ordokai, drifts from Marush.
You say there are orcs within Marush? That is very unusual, for that keep was built by the Adurhid.
Without the ruling grip of the Dark Lord, I would not expect those two groups to work together, however unhappily. I want to go with you to investigate Marush. I must see the situation within those walls with my own eyes. Sigileth coughs apologetically and draws you aside.
I do not wish to shame Silurtas, but do you think it is wise for her to accompany you?
Beyond the walls of Marush, should she grow distant at an appropriate moment, she would endanger both your life and her own. Perhaps I should go in her stead. Solartis wears a hurt expression. When she speaks again, her voice is barely above a whisper. I believed we had an understanding, Miloa. I see now that I was deceived. Sigileth is welcome to accompany us, but I will not be left behind. I want to help you investigate Marush, and I am insulted that you think to cast me aside so readily. For what purpose do I fight against Throthul if my allies will not permit me to aid them? Why do I resist the ailment, inflicting my people if my friends abandon me at the first sign of danger? You weave a veroth around me even without sharlashi trees. The prison is made of your own words. All of my senses scream that there is evil in Urushdar. I want to face it. Speak to me when you are ready to search for it, or I will go by myself to Marush, and you will be the one abandoned. Solartis does not speak again, but it is clear she has been deeply hurt. Sigilith begins to say something, but then decides against it. The three of you prepare to depart for Marush.
We must be careful. Marush crawls with orcs.
Something drove the Ordekai from this place. Was it the orcs, or was it something else? We should be careful, but we must learn these answers if we can. Those defenders were few. What sorcerer's enchantment have they worked here? Where have they gone? They left much equipment behind. A feeling of exhaustion overwhelms you. Sigilith stands unmoving, as if she were frozen in place. Solartis also stands frozen in place. What has happened to them, or to you? Search deeper within Marush for some way to free your friends.
Approaches. Over here. Closer. We slept, but now we awaken.
A great weight lifts from your eyelids. Hello, are you alright? You appeared to swoon for a moment, and you responded to nothing. You asked Sigilith if she or Solartis heard the terrible voice that spoke to you, or saw the large and fearsome orcs, and both elves shake their heads. You were dazed for only a moment, Meloa. How could you? Sigilith's voice trails away to nothing, and she suddenly looks past you to the south. Someone approaches. Gandalf!
Over here! There is no time!
What a twist! A terrible evil sleeps in this place, Meloa, and is more dangerous than you can face alone. We cannot stay here. Quickly now.
Go!
Sir, yes, sir.
You are fortunate I arrived at this moment, for you could not stand against these foes without my help. Yes, yes, it is good to see you again, but there is no time to waste now.
When I at last understood the danger that stirred in these lands, I came from the north in great haste with a number of companions, not knowing how best to find you. I sent them to search in several different directions. You are fortunate I chose the same path on which you and the elves were bound, for I had not found you at that moment. Mithrinder falls silent and taps his staff on the rocky ground. Enough of that. But we must find and return the folk I sent in search of you, for we will need them all if we are to face this threat. Seek for Legolas, Gimli, the sons of Elrond, and Glorfindel among the canyons of Urushdar. When you have returned with them, I will tell you what I know of the great evil that stirs in this land, and how we must stand against it. Yay, let's go find our friends. Very rocky terrain. Glorfindel greets you cordially, but his expression remains solemn.
We meet now in unhappier circumstances than a wedding at midsummer.
But it still is good to see you. When Mithrinder called for my aid upon arriving at Minas Tirith, I could not refuse it. Never would I refuse such a call. If only the bright company could have been assembled. Alas, that noble group belongs to another age, and many of those worthies have already departed for the West. I fear even the full complement of the bright company might not be enough to face this evil. When you learn from Mithrinder what it is we must oppose, you will understand. I will see you back at the camp after you have spoken to the others. Hail, Elladan and Alor here. Elladan and Alor look around cautiously, intrigued by the rocks of Urushdar.
Did you know Mithrandir has journeyed in these lands before now? He spoke of his travels to us.
As we came south through Harundor, when he walked here long ago, the people who dwelt in this land named him Inkanush. He spoke too of the Kintai, the elves of the oasis who tend to beautiful groves throughout the region. You tell Elra here that one of the Kintai has come with you to Urushdar. I will be most pleased to speak with her, he exclaims.
After my brother and I completed our work, we returned to Minas Tirith.
While there, we received word from Mithrandir that he had urgent need of us to face some hidden threat. A lesser would have come himself, but Mithrandir refused him. With such as we to protect him, I know that not why, but the wizard was most clear that a lesser should remain in Gondor and not come south with us. Makes sense. Looks like there might be some sort of path there. Okay, let's map to Marush. Oh, there's a bridge. Now we should probably just follow this ledge. Hey, Legolas and Gimli.
It is good to see you again.
The merchant vessel that delivered us and the Lady Nimrabel back to Gondor benefited from full sails and the seas were calm. The voyage north was much more enjoyable than the one that bore us to Umbar by the way of the Shield Isles, with not so much as a cloud in the sky. But Gandalf had need of us, and this dwarf would not refuse him, especially not once we met up with him and he said we would travel south of on land, through Harondor, and not by ship again so soon.
When we left you in Umbar Bahar Bel, I thought it would be much longer before we saw you again.
But no sooner had we delivered Nimrodel to the shores of Gondor than Mithrandir sent urgent word that he had need of us. The journeys Gimli and I planned to take must wait. After all, it is not wise to refuse a wizard's call. Back to camp we go.
The companions that came with me from the north have all returned to camp? Good.
Then it's time for me to tell you what I have learned, and what must be done to face it. Mithrandir scans the distant horizon and leans upon his staff, gathering his thoughts. When he speaks again, his voice is cold. A great evil sleeps in Urashtar, undisturbed for thousands of years. It has only now begun to awaken, for the enchantment that kept it from stirring would last until all knowledge of it passed beyond living memory. The last to know of this evil used many names, Miloa. In these lands he was called Barkush. Folk in the north knew him as Sauron. In every land he was the Dark Lord, but he served another in ages past. His master was Morgoth, the great enemy of the world. With the destruction of the One Ring and the death of Sauron, this enchantment, the Geese of Morgoth, has been lifted. Morgoth can no longer trouble the circles of the world, but this evil he set in the roots of the earth has outlived even his greatest servant.
In elder days, the world was greatly changed from its present form, and Morgoth coveted it all.
Friends, that concludes today's adventure. Thanks